Construction of my bat house was fairly simple. Here I used a 1x1 plank. Here's 4 pieces of leftover cedar I had lying around the house. Here's my ruler, pencil, a tape measure, a saw. Here is my 2x1 piece that I used for the roof. The first thing I did was bracket my 2 longest pieces of cedar together to use for the back of the bat house. I caulked it to make sure that it was seam-proof and waterproof, as well as to hold heat. Next step was to make notches in the inside of the back of the bat house in order to give the bats a place to grab onto so they don't just fall off. And this is also safer than chicken wire or anything because there's very little chance of the bats getting stuck in this over chicken wire. Then I bracketed together the 2 front pieces of the bat house and caulked them as well, and also made notches in the wood to provide grip. Next I used my 1x1 strip of wood in order to provide a spot inside of the bat house for the bats to be. The front view of the bat house, once it's put together, and as you can see the 1x1 strips of wood to give the bats about an inch of room to move around. This is the bat house once it's all put together. Got the roof on it, which is the 1x2 piece of wood that I used. And it's all, every seam is caulked, and the roof and the caulked seams make it waterproof, and it also is a very good insulator. This is the final product. It's the bat house after I painted it black with latex non-toxic paint in order to absorb heat. Here's my hung bat house. I hung it a few weeks ago, in the end of March. It's about 15 feet high. It's on a pretty barren pine tree with very little limbs until about 20-25 feet up. It's painted black with latex non-toxic paint, and that keeps the bats warm, absorbs a lot of heat, and it's also safe for the bats. Bat house is facing south, and therefore it gets a fair amount of sunlight all throughout the day, so the paint has a chance to absorb a lot of heat. I made sure to put it on a tree with very few low-lying limbs in order to keep the bats safe from any predators. So far, I've seen bats, but no bats in my bat house. So, hopefully, sometime soon I will have some. But this is 3rd week, I believe, and still no bats.